All right, so we just got back from watching Dunkirk, Christopher Nolan's latest film,
Latest.
and I gotta say it was really, really intense. I was like on the edge of my seat the entire film. It felt like we were there
I
with
feel
him.
like I gained PTSD watching that movie.
Yeah,
Like next
speaking
time I
of
see a plane, I'm gonna like duck. You know what I'm saying? That shit was scary.
speaking of PTSD, if you do have PTSD, I would recommend not watching this movie because that might actually cause more post-traumatic stress.
Yeah.
As far as the theater experience, I'm just gonna throw this out there real quick. The theater experience kind of sucked because the people fucking behind us were so annoying. And also, there was someone in the theater who fucking stank. Like,
That fool smelled like he straight pissed himself
he
straight up.
smelled like
Before the movie even started, I just got
I was
this
like, what the
whiff of.
fuck is this smell? Maybe it kind of enhanced the movie experience because I'm sure it fucking stunk on that beach too.
Yeah, dude.
So maybe it's like it added a fourth dimension to the film.
There it is.
But,
We'll go ahead and we're gonna say that.
but this guy or girl or whoever the fuck stunk smelled like, you know, when someone sweats a lot and then they take a shower but they don't actually like like wash themselves, they're just like wet, sweaty, like stinky ass sweat. It's fucking nasty, bro. Fucking gross. But yeah, I don't know. So that was it. It was a weird experience because the audience was like retarded, but the movie was so like intense that it was like it took away from like the stupid audience.
True.
I watched a film review from Jeremy Johns about this movie yesterday before I actually watched the movie today. And one thing that I heard him say, he gave a non-spoiler type review. And one thing he said that I was being wary of while watching the film was that he said that there's no real character development with any of the people in the film, and that bothered him because he was like, there's no scenes where people are connecting as characters and shit like that. Well, I'm like thinking, this is a fucking movie of people barely like. There's no time for us to connect. Like I'm trying to get home. Like there's no time for us to be like. So
Hey,
what are you gonna do when you get back home?
my name's
I'm like,
Vincent. How you doing today?
how you doing there, Chenzo and
Just
Casey?
like, nah, dude, you
And
got
it's like,
bullets flying.
bitch, I'm
off
trying to
your
get
shit.
home right now. We don't have time to talk about, you know, how great the weather is. The weather was shit, by the way. But,
It's full of dark clouds and shit, but you realize that was just smoke coming from the plane that just got shot down. It's like, oh shit.
it felt like you just experienced what they went through. I don't know how to explain it other than that.
It definitely sends like a rush through your body.
There wasn't any real actual character development, but I feel like the movie itself was the character. Like that's the development of the character you'd seen was the movie, and like the events that taken place from them being stuck there to eventually how some of them got home. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it got sad at some points. Just like if you're thinking about it, like super like into it, like you'll start thinking like, dang, this actually took place. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
there's people out there. You know, there's people doing that right now, and like it's not a crazy war like that or anything, but people go out there risking their lives like that. So it kind of gets pretty deep
Yeah.
at certain points.
Well, another thing too that I really liked about the film, I think this is Hans Zimmer's like best soundtrack ever. I felt like the soundtrack to the film like also just it took you like 10 times deeper into the film because it like elevated the intensity of all the shit that was going down.
Yeah.
And when I didn't tell you about this, but when I bought the tickets to the film, they actually sent me a free song from the film.
Oh yeah.
And I was listening to it last night, and when I bought the tickets, and I was just like, "Damn, this fucking soundtrack is fucking crazy." I want to buy like the whole thing now because it just gave me one track. But when I was listening to it, I was just like, "Damn, this is fucking some good ass Hans Zimmer fucking music." Especially after he just played Coachella this year. I mean, I didn't get to go to that, but man, that is one act I wanted to see. And just hearing his new score for this film, I was like, "This man is a fucking genius with music and film." I don't know. What did you think about the soundtrack?
Honestly, I wasn't paying attention. I was so wrapped up. I probably thought it was part of the movie, dude. It obviously was, but I was just like, oh my god, shit's going on in the background. It's making my heart pump. I'm looking at the scene, and I'm just like gripping edges and stuff like that. And kids crying back there. Shut up! I'm watching a fucking movie.
Hey, shut up, kid. Again, like, there's no character development. If you're going there to connect with a certain character in the film, that doesn't really happen. It's not really centered around one person. Though I will say, Tom Hardy's story, I guess you could say, with the dog fighting and shit.
Oh yeah.
Yo, that was crazy. The fucking dog fights in this movie were.
It takes you like back to those times where it was just like super raggedy, dude. Like you could hear like the metal shaking inside of the plane while he's just inside of the cockpit and stuff. And you're like, whoa, dude. Like I wouldn't want to fly that at all.
Yeah, you would not want to fight in a plane like that.
It sounds like it's really just gonna break down. Like just start.
It sounds like you're gonna die while you're killing people.
Yeah, basically.
Other than that, though, as you know, I've done other Christopher Nolan related critiques. I just feel really inspired by the guy. I've even made a music video, a song based on his one of his movies, Interstellar, one of my other favorite films. Him as a filmmaker in general inspires me, but recently with some things that I didn't know about his personal thoughts on things like new direction that film is going in as far as like streaming. He's not like a real big fan of Netflix. I was reading this interview he did. To an extent, I understand where he's coming from, and I just wanted to explain to you guys to get your thoughts on it. And maybe you can tell me what you think about Netflix versus old cinema. And basically his problem with things like Netflix is that in the interview, it seems the way he sees Netflix is almost relative to when movies were made and then just went straight to home video. And it's like movies that are made and go straight to home video, obviously they suck because they didn't give them a theatrical release. But Netflix is like a whole different ballgame. And I don't think Christopher Nolan quite understands that, because it's like Netflix is giving a platform to a lot of really good directors who do not have the support and the funding to have a theatrical release. But at the same time, Netflix is taking away from the theater experience. I don't want to say drastically, but it is in competition with it, because a lot of people feel like, oh, I could just stay home and watch movies now. But at the same time, there's lots of people who enjoy the theater experience. I go to the movies as often as I can because I love being in the theater. It's like I don't get to witness films in a big ass theater with like surround sound. It's a different experience. So that's why I appreciate what theater is. And I feel like that's also what Christopher Nolan, as a filmmaker, that's his bread and butter. You know, he wants people to experience his films in as large experience as possible. But at the same time, it's just like, for me, I mean, I'm not a filmmaker. I want to get into filmmaking right now. I'm just making basic ass music videos and shit like that. But that's something I want to get into. So I can understand where he's coming from when he says shit like that, and his outlook on, you know, streaming and, you know, the digital age of film. Basically, that's our, you know, thoughts on Dunkirk. Loved it. I'd give it an 8 out of 10 just because, you know, like, yeah, there's no story to it, but that doesn't bother. It doesn't take me out of it.
I'd give it a 9 out of 10, honestly, just because it was crazy. Like, you really do get sucked into that story, you know what I'm saying? Or,
I mean, it is a story.
Yeah, it is a story.
It is a story. But, I mean, you know what? I'll give it a 9 out of 10, too.
It gets you rushed. You're just like, oh my God.
It's crazy.
I think it's crazier that it's based on, like, a true story, you know, a true event that actually went down. That's what gets to me. It's just like, this is not just something made up. This is something, like, went down, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it was a great movie.
Great flick. Anyways, like, comment, share, subscribe, and go check out Dunkirk in theaters. Trust me, it is an experience that you do not want to miss.